Welcome everyone to our Heart to Heart Connect. Thank you all for being here, and just let us now just settle into the sacred space as we connect to our hearts as one. So just calling in the highest and the purest frequencies to be with us in this healing container. So we're just going to move from our head space to our heart space in 3 deep breaths. So just letting everything go of the day. And just settling into our heart space and into our vessel, into our body, into the here and now, into the present moment. And just feeling our connection to the earth, to Mother Nature, Mother Gaia. Allowing us to feel grounded. We're now coming back to our sacred space. So feeling the energy within our feet, our ankles, our legs, our thighs, the core of our stomach, our heart, our higher heart, throat chakra, third eye chakra, and crown chakra. And just taking 3 deep breaths, and when you're ready, you can open up your eyes. Okay, so I'll begin by sharing with all of you my recent experience the last week. It's been very emotional and very beautiful all at the same time. Yeah, just been allowing all the emotions to flow up. And all the shifts that are happening in the world, which are like for our highest and greatest good, and within our personal lives, things are coming up for a reason to be released. And for me, it's like not allowing anything to be suppressed anymore, like any emotions, just sitting with it, being one with it. So it's good just having that safe space to just allow everything to just flow through me and out of me. And yes. And I was very gracious to receive a soul retrieval with Lillian. So for a while, through everything that I've been through with life, traumas, grief, loss, it's like when I go through those moments, and when moments are in that high, just like high emotion, moments are in that high, whoa, what's going, there we go, wait, there we go, I should be okay. Can everyone hear me now better, I hope? Okay, good. You definitely, yeah, my technology, my computer and everything has been adjusting to the frequencies, but it's all good. Yeah, so whenever I go through any emotional experience, when it's so deep, I tend to kind of be kind of out of my body, and just kind of floating around. Been learning the last 2 years to really ground. It was a blessing the last 2 years with everything of just me being in nature. So that was a gift. So just feeling more grounded. and just allowing myself to process. But I didn't realize that part of my coping was me just leaving my body. So even in those joyful moments, it's like when energies are very like high frequency, or when I'm receiving like compliments or just like new experiences. Um, it's like in the past, my body kind of, what's it called? Whatever am I trying to, it's like electrical box where it's like the fuse, it becomes, oh, short circuiting. Yes. So that's been my processing for about, I would say 6 years. As being an empath and very sensitive, I've always wanted to like clear my vessel, like in thoughts and how I was feeling, so I wouldn't feel so much, right? So my coping was just not being within. So when I experienced the soul retrieval the other day with Lillian, just holding that sacred space, it was like that immediate shift of like everything seemed to kind of like turn back on again, like all my senses, like my taste, my smell, my hearing, my seeing, everything was like reawakened. It was like this veil was lifted. So yeah, I've been processing it for 2 days now and feeling really strong within, like especially when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, okay, like I'm within my body, I'm good. Like it's good. So just getting used to this new way of being. For me, it's like this is very new for me, very different, and loving it. So it's just allowing and trusting myself to receive all that I'm receiving within and creating, and everything, it seems like everything is like I'm getting like a second like lease on life, like a whole new beginning of like from all the years, 'cause I'm like now 33, so it's like now starting from brand new, like clean slate. So it's like not looking at the past anymore, even though before I was like, I wanted to make up for lost time, but I just was very compassionate with myself and just had self-forgiveness and just being very patient with myself now and knowing that, okay, we're just beginning like brand new right now, like right here and now. So it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And balancing, like learning that balance of like, because for the longest time I was in that creative flow and that intuition and thriving in that, right? That was like an extension of me. But now it's like taking action. Now it's like I'm learning like technology more and all of that. So it's just really embracing embracing a lot now, which it's new for me too, right? So it's just bringing everything into harmony, into balance, and yeah, just allowing myself to still be creative, but allowing myself to share, allowing myself to express through like dance, through like my artwork, through writing, through music, through playing my like musical instruments, and allowing myself to like do like human things too, like to like chill and watch TV, which I'm not used to that. I'm used to like go, go, go all the time and receiving inspiration from nature. So it's just that, yeah, just really working with both of the energies within, like the feminine, the masculine, to bring in that greater alignment. I know last week I was giving that example of like the pumpkin. So the the white pumpkin has been like that feminine energy for me as it's like that delicate, that beauty, having that connection, like those deep conversations with women and girls within like my space and my friends and all of that. And this has brought so much comfort to me because of not having that supportive masculine in my life. But now knowing that like I'm that supportive masculine for myself, and like that father figure for myself. And after last week's connect, because I have a cat and my cat is like a boy cat, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna switch the perspective and treat my cat as if my cat is like my child. So of like that tender nurturance and care, which really helped with my inner child as well. So just like building that relationship and not seeking things outside of me anymore. Just really going within, tuning within, and knowing that everything is created from within and is that reflection. So yeah, with the pumpkins, it's like the last week is like things have been more harmonious with like the feminine and the masculine as one. As like we all have those energies, right? It's just yeah, just knowing that, creating that safety within for both of the energies to thrive in whatever way that works for you, through like expression, through like artwork, creativity, and all of that. But every experience is unique to each individual. But yeah, this is just my experience and my story, and just so excited for like connecting with you all more, and just on this like heart to heart journey, and like journey back home to the heart. And my biggest experience from like these 33 years is just knowing that the heart never lets you down. Like you can always trust in the heart. Just allowing ourselves to just settle within, and just allowing ourselves to receive the self love, that self care, and that nurturance, knowing that everything is within. So that's my sharing for tonight. And yes, just opening up the space for anyone who would like to share. So thank you.
Thank you, Kyle. So if any of you have any question or anyone, want to express yourself, right, you can just jump on, unmute yourself. And because this is a free flow of conversations. So yeah. I wanted to acknowledge this one wanted to join. Okay. So I want to acknowledge Kyle as well for doing the work. So he will be continuing to share his journey about vulnerability, and also with the heart openness. You want to draw the heart? There you go. And I wanted to bring into the inner feminine of the man. So because we have 3 men here and 3 women here, is so balanced. Talk about the inner masculine and also the inner feminine. So I'm going to bring into like examples and what's my learning, and then open the conversation to the whole floor. So as I know that you all know that for the feeling of when you see Kyle, he has when you see Kyle, you will see that he has a very strong inner feminine that is in his like a feminine inner feminine energy in his in him. And when he share the stories or journeys, and he will be very open heart and share, and also that he will be open as vulnerability, like he's vulnerable to really share the pain and share the tears and share, just there's no hiding. He truly just expressed himself. And also that when that is triggered, when it's any of the dark shadow or the shadow work, he will go to the void. He will go to the void and sit there and feel it. As an empath, as an empath is amplified or volume up of that old feeling. So yeah, so that is the inner feminine. And again, I see that is the healthy inner feminine in the man. And also that we do have as a woman as well, we have the inner feminine too. So as a wounded feminine before, as me, I used to run away a lot. So when I run away, I ignore the feeling. And I don't even know what that is the work that I need to do or I need to face. Because when you distracted, you forgot to be there. And then you just, when you forgot, and then you have more, like, feel like, oh, that's more important thing to do now. And you just forget about it. So yeah, so a lot of times, that was me. So my learning of the journey this year is really simply being and not in denial. So for me, as a lot of in the masculine firing, I'm like a lot in denial. No, that's not me. No, I don't. No, that's not me. So I just sweep away, right? But the things like, if I don't see it clearly, I mean, things always come back. And I'm always curious of why I have that inner vision of this coming back. And process that about like 24 hours or 48 hours, normally very fast. Like my journey of healing is very fast. And yeah, it just landed on so many pieces of the healing of my inner self, my inner the wounded, yes, wounded masculine and wounded feminine. So I actually learned a lot from Kyle to be able to be like vulnerable in a way that no fear, as because you want to sit there? Okay. You want to sit here? Yeah. So to be able to really see yourself in the mirror, the reflection, sacred mirror of another person or another incident, and that pain will bubble up. When you bubble up, you'll start cursing. Right? And then not only that, but you accept it, like I accept it, and the way that, okay, what is happening here? You're showing me this. There must be something that I'm ignoring in my body, or in my feeling, because everything is embodiment of the feeling. I know. And with sitting down and feel into that bubble up of the pain, instead of like not running away, and somehow that this is my process is my, like, the tears, like my tears is my healing tools. So my tears would just come out itself, or it's just releasing. But a lot of times that when I wanted to run away, but I was just holding myself there. And because that you are breaking through that egoic mind. So when I had that breakthrough of that ego is mind, and the healing take place really quick, because you're going to another side, which is where the shadows become light. You heal it in the light. Instead of staying in the shadow, in the dark, I bring that shadow to the light to heal it in the light. So that is my process for these 2 weeks. I have it's constantly looping of the triggers. So yeah, but the thing is I knew that healing is a journey, it's not a destination. So that is my process of as a feminine. I can see myself as female, as a feminine, in a lot of masculine energy, like fire energy in me. And I just wanted to run away. That my really to escape. To know that I learned in a way that to be as to be and just be in that pain. I don't really want to say it's worth it, but you heal. You're starting to get healing when you actually sit there and be. That is the start. So yeah. So that is my process of a lot of the time. And again, I weave in a lot of creativities in all of the healing work, because from there, it transmutes, whether it's the code, whether it's the singing, whether it's the dancing, whether it's the moving, whether it's the walking. It's all being really anchoring down, because you feel safe. I, as a feminine, I need to feel safe in my body when I'm transmuting. So yeah, I need a container to be able to hold that, to hold myself. And if you have anyone that can hold for you, that is definitely really good, because on the other side, or your counterpart, you feel that he or she is holding the space for you. It's not then trying to fix you. You don't need to be fixed. You have nothing wrong. We don't need to be fixed. So in that container, solid container, that's, that partnership, that someone is holding you, and you know that you can lean back when you actually do the healing. So when I say lean back, I wanted to bring into the differentiation about lean in and lean back. Lean back is receptive. Lean in is you're going to do something. You lean in and deep dive. So that's more to the muscle. But lean in is like go forward, lean back, your body go backwards. So yeah, there's the embodiment practices of the like a body work. So that is what I wanted to share, as in these 2 weeks, where am I coming from and all of that. So yeah, all of my sharing, why am I open up this conversation? Why am I sharing? Because I know that by expressing myself, it's healing for me as well, by just sharing it. And I know that a lot of people wanted to hear that too. I write posts, but I think that, you know what? This communication piece is really important. So yeah. So I also encourage all of you on this floor and this space, although that is streaming just to the Sacred Heart Valley. And the Sacred Heart Valley is the Heart Valley. That's where your heart is reside. Where a piece of our petals, the rose petal, the heart petal, the rose behind it here. So yeah. So I've opened the floor now for you guys, for all of you to share, like how, share anything you wanted to share. You feel like something pinging you wanted to share, and all of that. So yeah, and again, there's no right or wrong. Yes, and the most important thing is like feeling safe in a container is my principle in this container, as I'm the space holder. So who is next to jump in? Anyone wanted to share anything or welcome?
I have to say this just because it just happened. And everything that you were just talking about, and sorry, Lillian, I don't mean to be putting you on the spot, but everything you just said was embodied in your daughter sitting on your lap. Everything that you were talking, it could have been coming from her, as she is. It's like you were the space, you were holding the space for your daughter to come feel safe and to express. She was leaning in. She was also leaning back. She was expressing all of her insights, her drawing, her wanting your attention, wanting to be acknowledged, but wanting to grow on her own. Don't bother me. I'm busy. Growing into everything that she wants to do, and yet having that safe space and holding it there with you. And Mom, I know you're busy doing this, but I'm important. Feeling valid and feeling able to express. And it was, well, as a side note, how beautiful that was that you were able to provide that space for her while you were talking, while you were explaining these concepts. And yet, so another concept I'm thinking of is all the distractions, all the noise that happens around us. We're always sidetracked and pulled into this area and this area, and you could focus on anything you wanted, but you were able to hold a safe space. That was very impressive to me. I was admiring how you were able to hold that for her, as well as express to us all of these concepts and feelings. But I saw everything that you were saying embodied right there. It was just fun. Thanks for letting me point that out.
No, thank you so much for doing that. I know that by her healing my own self, you're healing for the whole lineage as well, especially my kids as well. So yeah.
So fun. Thanks for letting me point
Thank
that
you.
out.
Yeah, thank you so much. Rosa, you want to share?
Well, I don't know what to share. I'm just listening, and when you're talking, it seems like you're talking for me. It's like everything you're saying is like click, click, click. And then as Richard mentioned, it was interesting how your daughter was saying, like, I want to draw. And then something about, I want to draw a heart. I was like, wow, like, she's part of the meeting, and she wants to be acknowledged as well. So that was really neat.
Yeah, she is all about the heart. Everything that she's 3, and when she draw, it's all about the heart. And I was amazed. She started when we went to the beach, and then she started to draw the heart. I was like, wow, 3 years and can draw a heart. I was so amazed because I have a very deep heart feeling because my heart was shielded. So yeah. So then you sort of a paddle was open. So yeah. The expansiveness of the heart is incredible, and journey also very incredible. So yeah, I'd love to hear from James. James, come on by. Come on.
Hello. It's been amazing so far, just to listen. So far, my journey has been like, the basic trauma stuff, and and just dealing with that is more of a suppression type thing, and just get through it. Now I'm learning what is the masculine and what is the feminine, and integrating both to let them work harmoniously together. So it's and plus I have to open up my throat and my heart, because that's all in the expression of who I am.
I also wanted to add on something here is, yes, we wanted to know about masculine and feminine, and that also the purpose of the conversation here, and I open up the conversation every week, is we're healing Gaia. So why am I saying this? What does that mean, Lillian? Is, in our society, that we have very strong matriarchy system. And there's a lot of like, a lot of like, those systems being broken as well. And we see every day, we hear every day. But also, I'm not going to go into patriarchy. Everybody knows what is patriarchy. In the ancient time, there's also matriarchy too, of the women. They really misuse their own power to command the man as well. So we also heal it in our own body too. So why does that mean in our own body? It's a healing body. For example, like manipulation, rejection, betrayal. That can be in the matriarchy means a lot of women's. Your pillow? Here, your pillows. Yeah. So not only for the man, it's also for the woman too. So I hardly hear about matriarchy wounding, that we need to heal from that, and we need to heal the man. That's why I am bring the masculine, not rising, is to evolve. Mommy, I'm that. Okay. Yeah, to evolve them. I help you later on, okay? Okay. So if you say a rising masculine, there's a lot of masculine rising. We don't need more about unhealthy masculine. We like to encourage them and invite them to evolve. Evolve as to look into the feminine side as well. So to look at that feminine side and to be able to hold the space for the feminine will feel safe to open up themselves, open their heart. And most of the time that women actually close their heart more than men. But there are also a lot of women as well. But it's always divine feminine do the work first. And then bring the man or divine masculine together. When I said divine masculine and the man, it just whatever that resonates to you. For me, is inner masculine and outer masculine. I'm not saying that everything inside me, nothing outside me. Now I have 3 men in front of me. I can't ignore you guys, right? So when I said about the man or masculine, you just assess yourself. What is my inner masculine? Is it really healthy? Or I haven't actually worked with my masculine yet. What does it look like in my body? We do have that true energy. If that is outside, what is your relationship with your land? What's your relationship with your friend, your father, your brother, your friends, your body? I'm just talking about that. So it's a lot of reflection. It's conscious relationship. So yeah, that's where why am I open this conversation? Because I have been doing a lot of feminine work throughout the year, like the whole last year, 12 to 13 months. And I feel my wounded masculine being really pushing and all of that, but I've been pushing him behind me. I've been the driver at the time. He's a passenger. When I say he, it's just like my inner masculine energy in me. I haven't bring him together with me. Then how do you come into union like this then? That's what this is my sort of awareness is. There's a lot of women out there. Where is all the man? Where is all the man? Or where is all the females? If that is around you as well, that you're doing the conscious work and you haven't really invite the feminine or female, that where is all the female and male that is compatible to me? Or is someone that is like my soulmate? So yeah, and also I want to bring into here is there's a lot of, well, I feel a lot of twin flame. A lot of people is actually, what do you want, honey? Want to sit like this? So there's a lot of people, actually I connected, that I did not share on my twin flame stories, but they just come to me and then they share the stories about the twin flame. I was like, oh, she got it too. Oh, she got it as well. And then they ask me questions that, how do I get my twin flame? How? Oh, interesting. How? I was like, this is all like coming along in the field that looking for one. But twin flame is another conversation, I guess. But today we can open up that conversation if you guys wanted to. I'm very happy to do that. But I think that today our conversation is about the masculine and the feminine as well. So unless you want to open up the twin flame conversation here, it's totally up to you. So yeah. All right, over to you. I need to clean the floor. So
One sec. Well, since Lillian opened up about twin flame, yeah, just want to speak on about twin flame. So from my personal experience, it has been truly beautiful and remarkable of connecting with my twin flame in this lifetime. And knowing that my twin flame has always been around me through everything, and through inspiration, through nature, through my creativity, through like the muses. And now it's like I've been journeying with the last 3 months with the inner goddess and the inner gods archetypes. And that has been very supportive with me in having like the mother, father, spiritual role models that I've needed. Like my mom was amazing. She is amazing. She did a great, phenomenal job. And just very grateful, thankful, blessed for her. But I wanted more like deepness, deep conversation, deeper connection. So when I was 19, it was like everything that I've been through, it was like everything was happening for me to kind of put me in the direction where I needed to go. Taking that empowered action to know that things could be a lot more magical than what I was experiencing. Without like dismissing what I was feeling and processing, but knowing that there was so much more for me to experience. And with my journey with like Mother Nature, Mother Gaia, like she's been with me all along, and that was like the first like goddess that I really connected to within my heart and all around me. It was just that nurturance. And that when I went in nature, I was home. And that nature wasn't like judgmental. It was just loving. And it could just being so in tune and like being able to see things too at a young age, it was so comforting for me. So I just loved everything nature, and I wanted everything nature. And knowing that my twin flame was in every aspect of nature, being reflected back to me in the most beautiful way. And like my grandmother, she had beautiful gardens and deep connection with the rose. And I would always help her garden. My mom had beautiful gardens, and nature was so supportive. And like when I had nightmares or night terrors, like my mom would take lavender and dry and put under my pillow and use essential oils. And then my twin flame has been connected with that lavender. So it was like, it was always there around me. So since February, it's like linking everything, like really going back and being like, this connects, that connects. Oh, that happened because of this, that happened because of that. And there was just like a lot of remembrance, and I'm like aha moments, and it was like crying, 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 as in like not sadness, but it was just that remembrance, that like all the magic that has always surrounded me. And when you're able to be held in safe, sacred space, what you're able to discover like within your heart is truly remarkable. And that's what Sacred Heart Valley has provided for me, that safe, sacred space to be seen, heard, acknowledged, witnessed, like expressed, like with creativity, everything. And the last 5 years I've been journeying with like the heart, like heart consciousness, like healing the heart. Like with my stepfather, like he passed away from like a heart attack. So I'm like, from that experience of him not having like a heart fully open, which would break my heart, because I'm like, I had so much love for everything and everyone at such a young age that I couldn't even really talk to my dad, because it was just, I didn't even know how, because there was so much love, but his heart was so closed and I didn't know how to connect with him. So it was like 11 years of that, until like the day he passed, he told me that he loved me, and he never said that. So that like burst my heart open, and I just was like, okay, like it's time to just, I want my heart to open. I want my heart open. And then my first father, when I was 3 passed, he was waiting for a heart and double lung transplant. So the heart's been all around me. So it's like me bringing my fathers along, as in helping them heal, healing the lineage, healing my heart, and from that grief and trauma. And then for like my future children, or in like the future lineage, like just healing all of that timeline. So it's just been like allowing my heart to soften and to melt, and to know that in vulnerability there's so much strength and growth. And after like a good cry, I would feel like, okay, that's a great release, and I would definitely feel that connection even more with source, divine, whatever works for you, like the universe. It would always, upon allowing my emotions to safely flow out, I was meted right there with the heart consciousness of like source, and just building that relationship. So now it has just become evolved so beautifully. And yeah, it's just a life lived with like heart magic, and heart of love, and just wanting to share my heart with everyone and to be of heart service. So yeah, it's truly, truly amazing. So thank you.
Norma, Polly, would you like to share anything?
I can share something. Hey guys. So feminine and masculine, I'm still exploring myself, because grew up in a family where all the masculine energy is building up for me, especially in my 20s. I think I've talked about this before, that I was the main income earner in those 10 years and still am, but well, not anymore because I'm not working now. I had to grow up like a man, basically, because I'm a main bread earner. And when I was younger, at school, not really just at school, but like I'm the eldest daughter in the family. So I have to be the role model for everybody. So I have to act like a man as I was taught by my parents, you know. So a lot of masculine energy in me, I know, but they're all wounded as well. And the feminine side, you might see me, you know, wearing a dress sometimes, especially when I was a little bit younger, you know, more makeup and stuff. But inside me was so strong that I don't feel, and I still don't, I still don't feel like I could find a romantic relationship because I feel like I was so much stronger than a lot of men because of what I've been through. So I'm still learning to be a female in a way. At the same time, I'm healing the wounded masculine side of me, which is to be courageous and adding some ingredients of the feminine qualities along the way. And yesterday it was funny because I went for a coffee with my dad, and he was talking about like different things, and there was that one thing that he talked about was, you know, he talked about his old times, and there was a woman, which is also his friend, his friend, and this woman had a really good business. Like she was really, she acted like a man, and she ran a business like a man, and all the men around her like praising her because like she was really successful. She was easy to get along with around men, the male friends. And my dad was like praising her and say like, there is not a lot of females like this around that you can be comfortable with. But what I wanted to say, but I didn't say to my dad, was you and your male friends thought that, you know, she was easy to be comfortable with. She acted like a man because she ran a really successful business. Is because you guys as a man, you don't know what feminine energy is. You don't know what female is like. You don't even have that energy inside you. And you feel comfortable with this kind of woman because you're so scared of feminine energies. You're so scared of getting in touch with the feminine side of you because you have none. And I think this is really sad because this is what the society is like. It has been. You know, everything is masculine. If you can act masculine, even you're a female, you'll be praised. You'll be called successful. But what successful really means? Being successful, sometimes, you know, we have to take a long way to get there. And in that process, there could be a lot of tears. You sometimes have to be vulnerable, even just by yourself. Like if you can cry, you can be sad, you can feel your feelings during that time when you are on your way to your success, right? And that's also your feminine side. So in every way, there is always masculine, always feminine, and we only celebrate the masculine, not the feminine, which is the journey. So that kind of made me feel really sad when I was talking to my dad. I was like, you just don't know what's behind all of these. And yeah, and I'm also healing myself in that area too, myself, because how I was brought up and the situation that I was in. And recently, and thanks to Jen and also, the community, our own little community, you guys are always showing, the drawings and the colors and everything. And Jen especially encourages me to sing again, because I used to sing a lot. Like if I were not eating or sleeping, I'm probably singing. Basically, that's how much I sang when I was a kid. But I stopped, and I at some point I even forgot how to sing. I forgot how to sing, and I forgot that singing was my life. I completely forgot about that because of the things that I went through. I just forgot about it. And these days I have been picking up a lot of, I'm actually drawing when behind the screen, a lot of colors. I'm actually coloring stuff, trying to be more in touch with my heart. I color every day now. And I try to draw every day just to get back to my feminine side. Your heart is also your feminine side. And that's why you can see in Kyle, like he's so in touch with his heart, because that's the feminine, that's where the feminine energy is from. And I want to do that too. And healing is a journey, yes, and it's a long process. And it's also a long progress. So, but we have to start somewhere. Just as little as things as just drawing, coloring, that what heals you like on a daily basis. So I'm on my journey too. Thank you.
Thank you, Polly, for sharing your piece, and I can reflect that to you back to you as a sacred mirror is the last generation, like our dad, they don't have any model. That's why they don't understand. That's why we are here in this container we talk, because we are shifting and evolving that generation. Through us, we're doing the work. So the last generations of our dad, our uncle, or big brother, there's no model. No one to see it like us. My mother, full of like masculine. I don't have any model to become a feminine. So when Carl talking about the goddesses and God, that is feminine. To journey with goddesses is actually means that to understand the inner masculine, inner feminine of you. I can bring into the example, let's say Kuan Yin is the goddess of compassion. You have to awaken of the compassion heart in you, to be able to see the lenses of compassion from other people. So that is just one of the example. So every single time that, you sort of like document, write it down, who's coming along and what sort of like theme that is dancing through. And again, it's the cosmic energy as well. For example, the goddess of love. That is awaken the love in your heart. So using the archetype is the energy of the goddess of love, self-love. Look at yourself as a reflection of the goddess of love. So work with the archetypal in Carl Jung, sort of like theory and teaching as well. So if you're interested to talk more about to know more about that, you can reach out to Carl, and he's working at the moment with that as intern in demand. And I have already done last year, and this year I'm working the second round, but with the masculine together. I also wanted to talk about how to embody the feminine energy. So to embody feminine energies is not trying to be more feminine. It is just about to release the block the stagnant energy, the tensions, and also those that is holding inside your body that prevent of that your feminine life force in you. You already got it. That is the life force that in you. That is not like to bring in more, to take more, to wear beautiful, to doing long hair, and then you wear like skirts and all of that. You can't, because you feel beautiful from inside out. But it is already in you. And the masculine life force is already in you. So let that land on here today. Oh, yeah. So that is something that I wanted to share. So yeah.
I think Lillian, what you said was right, because we don't have the model, because the older generations have no idea what's going on, and that's why it's so important. Like, we were born in this time I think there's a reason for it, because a lot of people are awakening, and we're born here to be awakened and to awaken people, right? We're born to awaken from all the old system and to change it. And that transition is so important, because we're the turning point of our generation. We're changing from old to the new, so that the younger generations, the offspring, will start from the beginning of the goodness. That is really beautiful, and also really important time for us.
Yeah, and we're also learning, retrieving the old ancient knowledge as well.
Yeah.
That is already forgotten in many, many lifetimes. So yeah, it is time to bring back all of that knowledge. And you can start to remember that. We all have that. So yeah, there's a lot of work there's a lot of work involved to become remember. Because each layer that you do your inner work, not only other work will bubble up, because when you're releasing of that healing, right, from the past to the present moment, you can retrieve the gift, and then you actually using that gift for now to create the future. So that is why we are changing. When you say changing the system, changing or evolving, you start from us. So yeah. And I know that Richard will have that question to me again. I know that last week we're talking about remembering and all of that, right? But it is just like sometimes when we look at something, it's so familiar. Even though some numbers, you're like, that ping me, or that anything. When you start to feel of that something is trying to communicate with you, literally. That ping you, look familiar, sound familiar. Why am I hearing this? Why am I coming back here again? Like when you look at the website, why you land in the same website again and again and again? It is like, it's talking to you. Synchronicity. Whether you hear it, is the wind trying to talk to you? So, and again, this is something that I'm also wanted to bring into, is the nature. It's the energies, is all part of the nature as well, like the water. What does the water means as in the feminine and masculine? What does that really mean for the earth, grounding, for realignment? And the water is emotional body. The wind is intuition. We all have that, isn't it? It's not feminine. We all have that. Yeah. And just be into the nature so that we are aligned in cyclical and seasonal. So in this way, we will feeling all supported by the nature. Like Richard last week said, that is magic or miracle. I remember you touched on that word, magic. Magic is everywhere. Oh yeah. I remember that when I was looking at the DNA, I was reading and coming to some sort of DNA learning. I would sit down on the playground, sit down on the floor on the grass. I was looking at the playground while pages were playing. You know, when you do the rope that the kids step on and you hold it, from underneath you look up, it's like DNA strain. Outside. Go outside. We go outside later on after we finish, okay? Finish very soon. So yeah. So I'm just gonna stop here. So yeah. So there's a synchronicity is everywhere. So yeah, that is all I wanted to share. Bye guys. All right, over to you guys now.
I have a thought I can bring up if we want, but it's a little bit of a different way of looking at it. I'm not trying to lower the energy, but I want to talk about something in a very practical way, because we're talking kind of on a very higher level about a lot of different concepts. Sorry, my logical brain looks at everything from a very specific way, and I think it's more masculine. It's the approach that I take, and I want to bring something up and we can talk about it more. And I would love you guys to say, Richard, you're not looking at it this way or this way, and we can lift it up. We can bring it to a higher level. But I talk to a lot of people about relationships, and of course, one of the biggest things I hear in my conversations with more women, is they're like, why can't I find the right guy for me? I'm looking for my soulmate, or my I'm looking for this person, and they have a very this idea of what they want in a partner. And the more people I talked with, the more I realized that what they want doesn't exist. Like, it doesn't. Before, when I was talking about magic, like Lillian mentioned, something that we have to look for, sometimes we define what we want so narrowly that it doesn't exist. And I want to roll this into, as we're talking about masculine and feminine, and I apologize, I always do this, but for me, I look at men and women specifically, and I know that each has masculine and feminine characteristics, and we grow in different ways. To me, what I observe, and I exaggerate this intentionally, and so just know that I'm going to be exaggerating this, but I look at men, and we don't know how to do a lot of things that women do beautifully and naturally. For example, we don't know how to multitask. We can learn it. We can try. We can grow into multitasking more and more, but it's on a very limited scale. And again, I'm exaggerating, but I'm going to define it this way. As whenever I'm focused on some project and somebody distracts me, for example, Lillian had her daughter sitting on her lap. If that happened to me, I can't recover. Like, I have to put the conversation on hold. I have to put it on the shelf, and then I can focus on something else that's happening. And then once that's resolved, I can put that on its own shelf, and I can retrieve this from my memory bank, and I can keep addressing it. Where women are usually, or naturally, able to handle a conversation, the phone ringing, or typing a message, handling children doing whatever they do in the background. The phone is ringing. The computer messages are coming through, and they can see 20 or 30 or 100 things. So I know I'm exaggerating, all at the same time, and all these things are happening in the background. And women, I know it's like overwhelming. This is not necessarily always a positive thing, but they tend to be, their brains are natural like creators and connectors, and can not only process this but manifest through this. And it's tough. It's a really hard process, but it's magnificent. It's magic. It's divine. It's beautiful. Where men are just like, we can't understand. We don't see it. We can't comprehend how talented and how amazing women are at this process. And there's other things like, and we just talk differently. We think differently. We focus on different things because of the differences in how we're designed. And so as we manifest here into this life, we have strong differences. So Lillian mentioned, why aren't there more men in this space? Why? Because we don't think the same way. We're not focused in the same way on the same things. We can't understand. We have to really lift ourselves. We can do it. We can learn and try to understand the divine, the beauty. We look at a flower. We don't understand why women can set a table and have nice silverware and plates and candles and flowers and things. Men are like, well, there's a table, there's plates, there's food, let's eat. We don't focus on the beautiful things. But when we see the beautiful table and the setting, it's so far beyond what we comprehend. We appreciate it, we admire it, we want it, we're attracted to it. We don't know what to do with it, and we don't know how to have those conversations even, because our brain doesn't process it the same way. So why are men not at the same, why aren't there more men doing this? Is because naturally men are focused on a lot more simple tasks, direct tasks. I even see this a lot in relationships, which makes relationships difficult. This is a big, longer conversation, but women want to talk to men and expect that they understand what she wants, but we don't. It's not this. It's like a woman talking to a horse or a cat or a dog. Our brains are like a different species. We just don't get it. If you take a horse to class with you, and the horse and you listen to the professor talking about some concept, and then later you go and you talk to the horse and say, wow, wasn't that amazing, how they describe this math or physics concept or art or music or something, and you're like, why doesn't the horse understand? We were both in the same place, we experienced the same thing, why don't you get it? And sorry, but men, from a woman's from how a woman is, men are a lot like horses, and our communication is just so different. It's like a different species. And of course people are like, no, it can't be that bad, but it is. Yes, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but not by much. And men look at the complexities of how women think and what they can do, and all the magic, everything looks amazing and magic. And we don't know how to, we're always worried and nervous in relationships that we're not doing what she wants, and we always forget things. Of course, we always do things wrong. And most women look looking for a partner. They're like, why can't I find a man that is, I'd like him to be a little bit good looking. I'd like him to be, a creator. I like him to be up on this level, and also, kind but firm. And she has all these things that she wants him to be, and there are just no men who are like that. There's nobody that fits all of that expectation, because the woman's perspective is so huge and so beautiful, and men can fill 2 or 3 of those categories, but not the thousands that she wants. So the communication, the expectations, in my, as a summary, I always wish that men can learn to grasp and to learn from how women's minds think. We need to grow in that direction. Women, I'm not saying lower your expectations, but I wish that women could understand, just like if you have a pet animal or a horse or something like that, you have to learn the language of the animal, of the other species, of the other person. If as women learn man language, they can become a little bit more forgiving and allowing and see what kinds of connections we're capable of making, and then we can grow. So there's just a lot of stretching in both directions. And the beauty is, as we practice that and expand it over time, we're able to grow together and have fun doing it. And it can be beautiful and very, very rewarding. So anyway, I just want to point out those differences. But I'd love to hear more of your perspectives. As you've been talking, I'd like to, over time, try to make some of these connections, because I'm looking at strong differences and the hope of bringing more of these together. The masculine and the feminine are represented by the male and female generally. But our desires, our hopes, our expectations, our goals are often very, very different. And so I think that's a lot of why things are as they are. And it's beautiful to be able to pull this energy in for the male to be lifted more into this and supported and protected in that feminine space, because we're scared of it. We're very scared of it. And why are women sometimes afraid of, it's painful for a woman to lower that energy into that physical tough space, and to be the breadwinner, to be the one who has to deal with the tough decisions, where that masculine energy usually holds that space. Anyway, sorry, I know I'm rambling about a lot of different things. So I apologize for taking so much time, but that's the perspective I've been looking at this from.
I love that when you bring into that clarity of for that using the mind. And I love for James and Carl to reflect it back as a sacred mirror of the conversation.
In my experience with relationships with women, it's hard to be vulnerable because we're not taught, we're not learned, and it's ingrained to be tough and but then there's the aspect of not being firm and being held, and it's hard to balance the two, because we really haven't had any what does that look like for us, because we don't know what it looks like, so we often question it, and we kind of rely on the female to show us what it's like, what they want, but yet it just sometimes turns the masculine on in them. And so, and then we've got this dominant masculine, and and it just flips back and forth sometimes, but it's like there's has to be some kind of dominance instead of flowing together and understanding how it's supposed to flow, the masculine and feminine, so to speak, with each other, instead of identifying as a masculine or feminine. Just to notice the energies and allow them to flow together.
Okay, so let me bring in a question. Oh, sorry. And I'll bet Kyle was just going to address this too. I want to think about the very basic polarity of male and female, then you have masculine and feminine. And I know our goal is to find balance. And actually, I'm not sure what my question is. It's more about how do we bring that balance in to the male role, all of the male roles and all of the female roles. There's a lot, right? There's a lot of differences. We can cite thousands of examples of different, polarities. How do we bring more balance of masculine and feminine to the female? How do we bring more balance of masculine and feminine to the male? I always have those questions. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe it doesn't matter at all, but that's where my thoughts are focused.
It's matter. Of course you are here. We're talking about that. Of course it matter. So I think that I will get Kalchi to reflect back to both of you, because as a man first, and then I will be jumping on the conversation at the end.
Okay. So Richard, you know how you were talking about the miracle last week? So I'm happy that Richard and James have brought this up to the forefront, because in my experience so far, yeah, upon my journey, it has been as like being like that masculine, like masculine body, or like as a man. My journey has been wanting to connect with the feminine through that nurturing masculine. When my journey first began, I was terrified of how am I going to talk to women? Like, how do I even break the ice, so to speak? So when I was younger, like 19, it was like that smile and like the charm of just, when I was so sensitive, like when I was a teenager. That women and girls knew that they were holding me, that I could just let my emotions flow in their space. And in the times when I was emotional in front of the women, they were right there holding me and nurturing my heart. And I love that. And there was like this magic evolved, whereas like when a girl saw me being emotional, it was like this, she felt safer and she opened up more, and then I opened up more, and we built this like harmonious like friendship or relationship that is just, we fully got to experience each other's hearts. And this has been my journey most of my life. And I felt always safe being emotional around the women than like men. Whereas like when I was with my stepfather in my presence, I was like, it's like I couldn't show any emotion. I had to be strong like him. I couldn't show that, like those tears. But when I'm with my mom, we could talk about anything and we could cry together. And we both were going through this phase of, like, she wanted my father to do stuff with us, to talk with us, to connect with us, to show us stuff. And he would just sit on the couch. He would be the breadwinner too. My mom would too. He was like the protector, like the guardian of the house, like the security guard. That was my perception that I put on him. That okay, I know that I'm going to feel safer with him as like the security guard. So my mom and I would just talk and be like, she's like, I wish he would just talk to you. And I'm like, I know, I wish that too. And then my mom and I would cry, and then I would just become closer to my mom, and we were journeying. It was like behind the scenes, my mom and I would just have this beautiful like relationship of like emotion. And then we could just look at each other and just know. And then know that we, even for us, like not even talking, like we could just tell by each other's eyes that we were just holding each other. And like being intuitive, when I was younger, I would help her. I would like receive like support and messages for her. So yeah, it was just so beautiful in that. So it's like, even though that father was there, like as that pillar, but it was just that pillar for me, that like nothing was being exchanged from that, which it just created a lot of tension in the household. And with my older brother, it was like this clash with my father, like, and it just broke my heart seeing that. As like me, I would observe a lot, and I would just like sit there and just like take everything in as that sponge, as that empath, and just hold everyone within the family. And I didn't have the tools then to process, so I would just like shut down, as in like just like wanting to be in nature, because that filled me up, that restored me, and that could just have this like telepathic communication with nature. And it's like nature gave me that support too. And then like my mom would like hold me in that. But in the whole process, it was like her heart became hardened or not as open through those 11 years. And, you know, I'm sure it was so hard for her to lose like 2 husbands like through passing, right? Which I completely understand. But it's just seeing my mom like change. So it's like now wanting her heart to open. And I wanted to open her heart fully before she left, or like before she moved away. So it's like this for 10 years. That was my journey of wanting to help my family. Because I'm like, I could see life in this whole magical way, and I never lost that essence. Yeah, at times I forgot, but it was always there, like that childlike joy and wonder. It's like not being childish, it was just knowing that like that inner child just needs to be looked after, supported, held, acknowledged, like being one with that creativity. And then having women like my mom's friends help bring me up too. It was like all this nurturance energy, that's all I knew. That's all I knew, right? I didn't know anything other than that. And like I only knew how to love. So it was like being amongst like men, it was like I would like seize up. I would like anytime like a man was like loud or raised like his voice a little bit, I would just like freeze. And then once like the man would like leave my presence, I would be able to relax more. And yeah, I would sometimes just cry as a release, because like my stepfather, bless him, rest his soul, but he had a temper and was angry and all of that, and being around that for 11 years is just, yeah, it affected me a lot. So yeah, that's why like most of my jobs, it's like working with women, because it's like I felt safe as a because I was like connecting to my nurturing like feminine side, and then just things just flowed, right? But it was like me being that masculine or like looking masculine was like that pillar for the women, but I had that nurturing part that just helped everyone. So going back to what you were saying, Richard, from my experience with my twin flame, it's flowing like me being strong for her when she needs to let those emotions flow, and tuning into like my heart fire and my inner heart to just be that pillar, that strength, that empowerment. But then also when I need my emotions to flow or space held, she provides that space for me to let those emotions flow in a safe, sacred space. So it's like we both are like holding that masculine and feminine energies for each other, for like nurturance, for healing, for that remembrance. It just works in that harmony, that harmonious flow, and just coming as one into like that alignment. So knowing that, yeah, like it's possible because like I'm journeying it. I've been journeying it, and I think it just brought to light like why I do what I do, like why I'm here. So yeah, it's time. It's time. So thank you both, Richard and James. Whew.
I'm just looking at the time, and I just want to share a few pieces before we close the circle. Is be in our heart and to truly hearing each other's heart of the yearning. And when you find that yearning, be that yearning. It is through the heart. That's what I wanted to share. Find that yearning and be that yearning. Our topic next week, we'll continue with these. Gonna be open more. But I want to sit with you, you just landed here is, what are you yearning? Without any expectation. Just do our own first. Trust. Are you trusting yourself first? Are you feeling safe? Because a lot of relationships fire up because of not being safe in your own body. When I said the body, it's the mind and the heart in coherence. I hear you, Richard, about the mind, all of that. It's all matter. But I want you also for you to try this, to know without any that expectation or attachment. Codependency somehow coming in. Yeah. Oh. What are you yearning for? What are we really yearning for in our heart? And feel that love energy in your heart, the flowing. I'll go with you, okay? Feel into the heart and really feel that love energy flowing in your body. And you can see it very quiet. Feminine side on the left-hand side, masculine side on the right-hand side. And just imagine that. Hang on. And just see, do not even say that, oh, where is my energy? But just think about that pink and the blue energy. If you wanted to, whatever color that when coming in, feel that energy. Feel that energy. The man wanted to hold the woman. A woman? A woman, yes, a woman. And the woman love, yearning to lean on the man. And that two energy, just do that, pushing each other. And this energy is inside your body. You just feel that. You don't need to use your mind. That energy will dance itself because it is part of you. But this is your homework. And if you come next week, I'll ask the question. So use this energy and dance. See whatever they want to land in your organ. Who cares? But I want you to feel. The woman wanted to be held. The man wanted to hold. And sometimes it's opposite. That's why we do have a lot of inner child wounding as well. We want a father to help or want a mother to help it. It is all as well. No judgment, just using that energy and feel of that dance through. And those energy will bring you into balance in your body. And that is your love energy that is within you. That is your yearning, Richard, the balance. It's the balance. It's the balance within you will bring out. So yeah, start from within first, and then you will bring out. So just that energy. Even just lie on the bed, hand out, lie on the bed, and you feel that. And sometimes you will have a Shakti life force energy come through to you. Allow that. Allow that Shakti. Forgot in school. So yeah, and allow that to dance through your body. That's beautiful energy that you have it in you. I was like, what is this? I have that. And just allow that. And you feel the bliss. It's the bliss. That's the true bliss. Feel that bliss up in your body. Fill up the cup. And you feel the masculine and the feminine balance. So yeah. Thank you so much for listening and receiving. I'll see you all next week. Thank you so much. Carl, you can close the circle now if you wanted to. So yeah.
Yes, thank you everyone for being here as we connected to our hearts, heart to heart. Always remember, the heart guides the way, the heart leads the way. So you're returning back to the heart, journeying back to the heart. Good trust in your heart. I'm looking forward to connecting with you all next week, and many infinite blessings, and enjoy being that love that you are and journeying back home to your remembrance of your heart. Thank you.
thank you for everybody to attend, and welcome, James. And I hope to see you next week as well. And I hope that these conversations is pretty deep. And I hope that you enjoy and feeling the healing within little by little. Thank you, Richard. Always bringing a very, very so good. I love all your perception and all the mind language, because it reminding me as well that mind and heart, that's how the coherence work. So yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Polly, coming again. I haven't seen you for a while. I was thinking to message you, but you pop up. Thank you, Carl, for being in this container to sacred mirror of mine. Thank you. I'm off. Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.